Welcome to UGBS 207 Social Responsibility and Ethics class. I'm very excited to talk to you about session 8 of the lecture series. Today we are looking at social responsibility business practices. The session overview is as follows. I'll try to explain social responsibility business practices, and I will also describe the types of social responsible business practices, as well as elaborate how social responsible business practices happens in business firms, and then differentiate between social responsible business practices and irresponsible business practices. At the end of the session, you should be able to identify and explain social responsible business practices. You must also be able to differentiate between socially responsible business practices and irresponsible business practices. Also, it is important for you to understand what or how to apply social responsible business practices, and it is appropriate for you to also understand what are the practices involved that is called social responsible business practice. It is also important to develop a social responsible business practice plan for a firm. The key topics to be covered in these sessions are as follows. What is socially responsible business practice? And responsible and irresponsible business practice, potential benefits of social responsible business practices, and the potential challenges of social responsible business practices. A corporation adopts and conducts discretionary business practices and investments that support social causes to improve community well-being and protect the environment. Initiatives may be conceived of and implemented by the organization, or they may be in partnership with others. Now, in terms of what organizations stand to gain by being responsible in its business practices, there are many. One, we can talk of risk management. When an organization is engaged in responsible business practices, is able to protect itself from risks, and irresponsible business practices will open up firms to a lot of risks. And it also ensures that the organization is accepted in the community. And that is avoiding the risk issue than when you are not engaged in responsible business practices. So risk management is achieved, is a potential benefit that organizations stand to gain when they practice responsible business practices. Secondly, the reputation of management is given or is enhanced with responsible business practices. A responsible business, the managers will be assured of the community support as well as customer support. Customers willing to buy the organization's products and services when they engage in responsible business practices. It also enhances the ability to recruit and develop and retain staff. Every employee or potential employee will be happy working with a responsible company. So when organization is deemed to be responsible, then well-talented people, both potential and existing one, are happy working with such organizations. It improves innovation, competitiveness, and market positioning. These are some advantages that you are likely to drive if you are involved in responsible business practices. Innovative ideas can easily be generated, and you'll be competitive in the marketplace, and then your position in the market will also be high. That is, position in the minds of the target market will be very high. Enhance operational efficiencies and cost savings. Responsible business will ensure that the operations of the organization is efficient, and a lot of cost savings can also be achieved through responsible business practices. For instance, responsible business, an example for cost reduction is when you are involved in responsible business, then you are not likely to be visited with a lot of court issues, and that can save the company a lot of money. But irresponsible business practices can lead or send companies to the law court, and that also wastes a lot of time and cost of money. Improve ability to attract and build effective and efficient supply chain relationships. Your relationship with your supply chain will be very effective. There will be harmonious relationship with your distributors as well as your suppliers. And this will enhance the productivity of the organization when you are involved in responsible business practices. Enhance ability to address change. A responsible business will always be proactive in responding to changes in time than less responsible business. It means that if you are responsible, then you are always environmental conscious. You are concerned about the society. You are concerned about your stakeholders. So any changes happening, then you'll be aware of and you'll be proactive to deal with such kind of changes compared to irresponsible business that does not care about the environment. And whenever there are changes, such a business is not even aware of those changes. When laws are changing, irresponsible business sometimes are not aware. But responsible business will understand the legal regime and then they will be able to change to follow. Also, it is more robust social license to operate in the community. Responsible business practices gives you the license to operate. It makes it sometimes customers are willing to patronize your organization's product because of your responsible nature compared to irresponsible business. It gives you the license. It gives the company the guarantee to operate in the environment as a result of your responsible practices. There are some potential challenges of social responsible business practices that we must also be aware of. For instance, there could be conflicts of interest between the organization and what it intends to do. And how do you handle it? You want to ensure that you are responsible to the practice or to the community that you operate. But there are sometimes challenges, conflict of interest of what you intend to do and what the community want to engage in. So, for instance, one irresponsible business practice in Ghana could be a lot of contractors will usually give like 10%. And if you don't give that out, then you will not be able to get the support or the edge to, will you go ahead to stick to your responsible business practice or you want to barge? These are some of the challenges that can bring. But then you have to stick to if you believe that what you are doing is right. And benefits to community is sometimes negligible. That's the challenge. What gets into the community sometimes is negligible, and that can be a cause of concern. And then growing consumer cynicism. Sometimes consumers tend not to really believe that organizations are really interested in their welfare. Consumer skepticism also doubting what the organization is offering when it is responsible. They doubt organizations that are responsible. Sometimes their offerings in terms of product and services, consumers sometimes are doubtful of them. Impact on profit margin. Yes, it's likely to, a responsible business practice sometimes it will affect the bottom line. And that can also be a concern. And then ease of what? Disposability. It is not easy to, it's very easy to easily forget about whatever the community has, whatever the organization has engaged in. Sometimes it's very easy for people to really ignore or forget. For further reading on this, you might visit the Sakai platform. I'll make available a link for you to do further reading on that. Yeah, you may join the debate on the Sakai platform and contribute to us to what constitutes a responsible and irresponsible business practice. There are several ways by which organizations can engage in responsible and irresponsible business practices. Responsible business practices will inure to the benefit of the organization. So there are several benefits of being socially responsible or practicing your business in a responsible manner. And there are several disadvantages associated with irresponsible business practices. It is important managers are aware of this and ensure that their businesses do not fall foul of the law. They ensure that they practice the right things in the environment to ensure that organizations benefit from their effort.